In the middle of Manhattan, a Ferrari races down the avenue at full speed, weaving through traffic with police cars in hot pursuit. The driver? Del Scott, a recently paroled ex-con who's behind the wheel. And sitting next to him is Philip Lacasse, a wealthy quadriplegic billionaire who seems disturbingly calm. Del refuses to stop even as Philip shouts, but when the cops finally catch up, Del pretends Philip is dying to avoid arrest. The whole situation ends in chaos, but it reveals something even more important. These two men are not strangers, they're best friends. And this was just the beginning. Sometime earlier, Del is walking through New York, freshly out of prison and looking for work to fulfill his parole conditions. He stumbles into an upscale penthouse where job interviews are taking place for a life auxiliary caregiver. Del's only there for a signature, but Philip, paralyzed from the neck down after a paragliding accident, is amused by Del's lack of respect for the rules. To everyone's shock, he hires him on the spot. Yvonne, Philip's executive assistant, is skeptical. Del knows nothing about caregiving, has zero experience, and barely shows up on time. But Philip insists. He wants someone who won't treat him like a patient. At first, Del is overwhelmed. He's forced to feed Philip, clean his catheter, help him bathe, all things he never imagined doing. He tries to sneak out, even considers quitting, but the job pays well, and Del needs to support his estranged son, Anthony, and his ex, Latrice. So he stays. Over time, the walls begin to break. Del adds his own flavor to Philip's routine, blasting Aretha Franklin through the speakers, pushing Philip's wheelchair way too fast through the park, and even giving him his first taste of a joint to help manage his phantom pain. The result? Philip laughs harder than he has in years. Del discovers that Philip's been writing letters to a woman named Lily, whom he's never met in person. Philip is terrified of rejection because of his condition. Del pushes him to take risks. In love, in life, in everything. So Philip agrees to finally meet Lily in person. Meanwhile, Del starts rediscovering his own self-worth. He has a talent for drawing and painting, and after Philip encourages him, he starts selling art to the neighbors. Del uses the money to reconnect with his son and help provide for his family again. But not everything goes smoothly. At dinner with Lily, Philip gets cold feet. When she shows up, he panics and asks to leave without talking to her. That night, humiliated and angry at himself, he lashes out, firing Del in frustration. Without Del around, Philip isolates. He stops shaving, avoids therapy, and distances himself from Yvonne. Del, on the other hand, uses the bonus Philip gave him to finally turn his life around. He gets an apartment, reconnects with Anthony, and starts making art again. But something still feels missing. Eventually, Yvonne finds Del and tells him that Philip has become depressed and unreachable. Del returns, barges into Philip's home, and pulls him out of bed, insisting they live a little. That's when we return to the high-speed Ferrari chase from earlier, a spontaneous moment that gets them both arrested and laughing again. Philip finally agrees to try paragliding again, the very thing that caused his accident years ago. With Del by his side, he takes to the skies, flying over the mountains with a sense of peace and liberation he hasn't felt in years. Later, Del helps Philip prepare for another meeting with Lily. This time, Philip shows up alone and ready. In the final moments of the film, we see Del walking through the city with his son and Philip finally smiling, no longer just surviving, but truly living.